Hello, so today I got a match. It's pretty good. Let me pause it first turn. So it was my team versus his team. I see the bird. That's super weak. So I want to lead off with my look and set up the rocks. I was expecting the sand slash or possibly the magnemite or something, but instead he leads off with Kangaskhan. So I'm going to immediately switch in to my Garbodor to take the fake out or the double edge or the sucker punch or whatever he wants to throw. I'm going to take it real well, and I'm going to find out first turn that he is leftovers. So I thought that was pretty weird and interesting, but he is the leftover set. He's going to just go for the Earthquake. I thought he might switch out. But either way, I just wanted to get the Toxic Spikes up, seeing as it hits everything, or not everything, 4 mons, and notably the Sand Slash, and I have 2 Fake Out users to wear down the thing that gets rid of the rocks, and I figured rocks are more important than spikes in this battle, so I didn't care too much about my ew, and I'm going to switch out and go into my Claydol, knowing he's just going to go for the Earthquake. He's probably not going to want to switch it up and go for the Double Edge because he would be taking a ton. If he had killed me, oh my gosh, he would be taking a ton of recoil. Double Edge recoil, whatever recoil, just everything. So he goes to the Double Edge here. It's going to be able to cleanly 2-hit KO me. And I'm just going to get my rocks up, as you'll see. Actually, no, I go for the Earth Power. What am I talking about? I don't get my rocks up. I go for the Earth Power, thinking he might switch into Malamar, actually. And now I'm going to switch into my Garbodor, knowing that he's probably going to want to just take me out, and I knew that my rocks are more important than my spikes, so I'm going to go into my Garbodor. He makes the crazy play. I would not have made this play. He goes for the Earthquake and takes out my Garbodor, so that was a really good play by that guy. I'm going to go into my Kangaskhan, and I'm going to go for the Double Edge, and he is actually going to switch out and go into his Sand Slash, and unfortunately for this dude, this Double Edge hits super hard because it's a critical hit. And I did the calc, and if he's the standard set, then that mattered. But looking at the damage, it looked like that he wasn't the standard set. He was a little less than max defense, probably running some speed creeps. So that it was like a 50-50 for that mattering, because with that crit I'm going to be able to cleanly take him out, while without that crit it would have been a 50-50 for me taking him out. So that does kind of suck for this dude. Even with the poison, yeah, that was the calc, so it was still 50-50 for me to take him out. So Double Edge is going to take him out in 2 hits because he doesn't want anything else to take that. Questionable about him switching into Magnemite. I don't know why he didn't do that. Maybe it's because he's E-Violet and he's scared of taking the Earthquake. He goes into Audino. I'm going to switch out into my Claydol, knowing that rocks are very important now that the stealth or the spinner is gone. And the Toxic Spikes are up, so may as well get the rocks up too. No, but in this case it is very important. I knew he was just going to switch back into Kangaskhan on this turn, or I thought he was going to switch back into Kangaskhan on this turn to get the wish and to take on my look very well. And I didn't, let me see, on this turn I was debating mentally like a little bit of switching into Liepard to take the fake out and then Encore him into it, but I figured it wasn't worth it. So I'm just going to stay in and go for the Psychic or the Earth Power to take him out. And he actually gets max damage on that because last time it did a little bit less. So he takes me out in 1 hit, which is interesting as always. He's at 67%. I figure he's running a little bit more bulky of a set. I'm going to go into my Kangaskhan, and I know he's probably not going to take the fake out when he's poisoned, so I'm not even going to go for the fake out. I'm going to go straight for the Double Edge. He brings in his Mega Audino, and I'm going to hit it hard with that Double Edge, and it's going to do enough to the point where it's easily going to be able to 2-hit KO it. And even my Earthquake is going to be able to 2-hit KO it, so I figured he might want to go on to Magneton. This Magneton this time, so that time I go for the Earthquake, and to take less recoil. So he brings in his own King Scan. I'm like, okay, he's leftovers. He's not going to win this 1v1. I'm going to win this 1v1, in fact. And I figured one of us is going to go for the Sucker Punch, and I thought he was going to predict me to go for the Sucker Punch and go for the Double Edge, and I would be faster and be able to take him out. But in fact, he does go for the Sucker Punch, and I go for the Double Edge, and I'm able to take him out. And I'm not even mad that I went for the Double Edge, because obviously Sucker Punch did nothing, so my Sucker Punch would have done nothing to his. And yeah, so it all worked out well. He's going to bring in his Magneton. I go into my Kecleon here, seeing as it's the best thing to switch in right now. Persian is not the best thing because he has a Steel type, and that's exactly what he brings in. So now on this turn, I know exactly what I should have done right here. Exactly what I should have done. I thought about it right after I clicked what I clicked. So right here, I definitely 100% should have gone for the knockoff. Why? Because it will hit the Magneton super hard, knock off its item, and if it's Eviolite, I'll be able to hit it super hard if it stays in. If he goes into the Fletchinder, it'll take it out. If he goes into the Malamar, I'll be able to figure out what item it was, figure out what type of set it was running, and overall just be able to assuredly outspeed it with a Liepard and Persian, hit it with that ×4 U-turn, and even Sucker Punch or Shadow Sneak. So I should have gone for the knockoff right here. But instead, I was thinking about him hitting me and him staying in and then me hitting it. And I went for the Drain Punch. But he goes into Fletchinder, predicting that, basically foddering it as well. And I'm like, oh god, now I'm a fighting type. He outspeeds me with his priority. And what am I going to do? So I should have gone for the knockoff. I probably would have won. Honestly, I probably would have, like, easily won this game, like for sure won this game if I had done that. But now I have to fight a little bit more for the win, and it's an even match right here because yeah, I let him take me out because I figured he might go for the Roost, and I'm just gonna go for the knockoff. It's just a bad situation right now. I go into my Persian. I figure he is going to acrobatics me, and I'm gonna be able to live and go for the U-turn. But that was my thought process. I wasn't really too scared of him going for the Roost or the Will-O-Wisp. If he had gone for the Will-O-Wisp, I would have taken him out. If he had gone for the Roost, I would have been in a sticky situation. But at this point in the match, I have to take a risk, and I go for the U-turn. He goes into his Magneton, and I am going to go into my Kecleon. Now, on this turn in my Kecleon, I knew he couldn't go into his Fletchinder, and if he did go into his Fletchinder, it would die. And so I'm not even going to bother going for the Drain Punch. I'm just going to Sucker Punch to get damage off, because he's just going to be able to get free damage off on me and switch into his Fletchinder, which is something I definitely don't want. So and now he's going to sack his Fletchinder, which is kind of weird. You'll see why. So my Sucker Punch did 37.3%. He says that this turn was a misclick, that he went into his Magneton. But I don't think it was a misclick, because he sacked his bird. He sacked his Fletchinder, and the only reason to sack that would be to go back into his Magneton. So there would be no point in sacking it if he had just gone directly into this guy, since I had already gone for the Sucker Punch. But he brings in a Magneton. I think he said it was a misclick after he saw he was at too little of health to live a Sucker Punch. So I'm like, okay, he brings it back in. He might be like hoping for minimum damage. There's no reason for me not to go for the Sucker Punch. He's just going to kill me. So I am indeed going to go for the Sucker Punch. And yeah, that's when he typed in the chat, misclick, which I don't believe in the slightest. And on this turn, I'm like, okay, what does this guy like to do? He likes to superpower. So what am I going to do? I am going to Shadow Sneak so that he can't hit me with a superpower. And I think what he should have done here is, if he wasn't, well, he's obviously not choiced because he has the leftovers, so that gave me an idea of what kind of set he was. So instead of going for that, I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch, and it actually fails, and he goes to the Rest, which is very annoying. Very annoying indeed. I am going to be able to hit him with the Drain Punch now, because he does not hit through this first turn of Sleep Talk, which is lucky for me. And I guess I could have played it differently, like knowing that he's gonna go for that. I could have gone for the Shadow Sneak, but he did tell me that, well, I don't even know what his fourth move is yet, so It wasn't worth it because he could have had a dark move or a psychic move and just been able to take me out that way. So I'm just going to stick the knockoff, actually, not the drain punch, because the knockoff would probably do a lot more damage and make it so I can kill him with the priority move. But unluckily, he gets the superpower and gets his defenses raised. So I probably should have gone for the Shadow Sneak right there, because then I would have been in a lot better of a foot. I don't think that my Persian could take out the Magneton either way, but it was still worth it. So let's see how this pans out. I'm going to go for the fake out, and he's going to wake up and flinch. So he's saying, come on, I got enough hacks. But I think the only hacks I got was that crit, and then him not getting the sleep talk. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to go for the U-turn, and he's going to be able to take me out easily with a superpower. So that was a good game. I think it was played pretty well by both people. I think, it just kills me that I could have, would have, and should have been able to go for a good move with my Kecleon. Kecleon is so good. I love Kecleon. But I also am liking this Malamar set. He told me that it's very good and I should try it out. I'm thinking about it. I like it. I like how it's rest talk. I actually don't like rest talk, but I like the superpower contrary part, so I might think about it. And anyways, if you want to see more of these, you can subscribe, and if you liked it, you can like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around.